What up, fam? It's your favorite brother, your favorite cousin, your favorite father, your favorite uncle, your best friend's best friend. It's me, Dr. Larry, and welcome to the Living for You, the YouTube channel. This is a place where we come and we relax and we sit and we chill and we grow and we better ourselves and become our best selves, because that's the ultimate goal, not only of this channel, but of everything I do. For those of you who are consistent and you've showed up and you've subscribed and you are here every week, welcome. I love you. Your family. You already have a seat always here at this table to communicate with me. And for those of you who are new, Living for You is my business. I am a certified life and spiritual coach, along with a whole host of other things. And if you want to know more about that, you can actually go to www.liveforyoucoaching.com. That's www.liveforyoucoaching.com, and you can find out all about me. If you are interested in signing up for any coaching yourself or signing up for any courses that I have or any programs that I have, you can also do that at www.liveforyoucoaching.com as well. You can also follow me on social media at Dr. Larry Smith on Instagram, as well as on Facebook, or Dr. Larry Smith PhD on Twitter. So welcome. I know the setting is different. I'm trying out something slightly different, trying to do something a little bit more different for this year, trying to be a little more relaxed, trying to be a little more owning things, trying to go out there and be just kind of be different, trying to be a little bit different, I guess, this year than I was, and trying to just mix it up a little bit, because my audience is really appreciating some of the diverse things that I've been doing. So this couch, the relaxation, the music, everything, I'm just trying to, mix it up a little bit, keeping it spicy for 2021. I wanted to get on and kind of discuss a few things, but one of the things that's most important to me is right now we're in the time in which we're appreciating and we're honoring the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King has gone on from being a boy from Atlanta, a preacher to Atlanta, to kind of almost an American iconography, like icon. In fact, he has a monument, obviously, as you guys know, in Washington, D.C. And once that happens, it's literally right across from the Jefferson area and right in between Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln Memorial. So it's a big deal. So Martin Luther King is kind of seen now as this iconic figure. So I wanted to get in a little bit deeper and ask ourselves, are we living Martin's dream? And if you're unfamiliar with Martin Luther King's dream, I'll put a link down below of the I Have a Dream speech, so that you can go review it, where he talks about a certain America and what America should be and could be, the possibilities of this country based upon that dream. It's a phenomenal speech. It's one of the widely heard, widely read in school and other places speeches in United States history, but it is talking about the American promise. And for those of you who are new, don't know much about Dr. King was a prolific writer, prolific speaker. He became well known, especially after he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He was born in Atlanta, and he was a preacher, but he was a civil rights movement leader, along with many other leaders and people who fought for equal rights for African Americans. African Americans in the United States were let out of slavery in the 1860s, and specifically January 1st, 1863, through the Emancipation Proclamation, and then slowly by other means throughout the remaining years in that decade. And African Americans up until like the 1960s hadn't really gotten the equality part of it. Inclusion. There was always kind of two classes of society in America. There was a black society and a white society, and they weren't created equal, even though decisions like the Supreme Court decision in 1896, Plessy versus Ferguson, where separate but equal was ruled as okay, it was never fully equal. And so Dr. King and many others were fighting for that in the 1950s and 60s and went on into the 70s. And many people continue to fight for that equality even still today when we look at all of the different things that are happening. So I just wanted to look at about 6 of Dr. King's quotes and kind of understand them and kind of feel them and kind of gauge whether or not we are there in Dr. King's dream. So the first one is this one. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. I want to guide that one directly to my non-black, non-people of color viewers. I have a lot of you guys, and I appreciate and I love you just like I love everybody else. But I think what happens a lot of times in this country is so many things occur, but the problem that occurs with all of them is so many people remain silent or remain inactive. And I think when it came to things like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all of the other injustices and police brutality that was happening to people of color and all of this stuff, I think that opened up people's eyes because it was in their faces. But generally, people remain silent. And when Martin Luther King was saying in that quote, he was really specifically talking at that time to white church people, white Christians. If you were a Christian, you can't stand by and watch what's occurring and accept what's occurring, because what is occurring is an injustice, and Jesus would scream out loud and fight against these levels of injustices. And so he was talking to people who say nothing. And the reality of it is that if you allow injustice for one, it affects all of our lives. And there's even a Dr. King quote that says that. And so the important fact is, are we living in a time where we'll be able to now move beyond being silent about things that are wrong around us? Or are we still going to remain completely silent and not do anything while they go on? All right, another Dr. King quote is, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. In other words, do something, right? It kind of segues away from that other quote that I just gave. Don't give up. And that quote can expand. Dr. King was so prolific that quote in itself can expand beyond just the simple of doing right and wrong, fair and just for people and making sure equality is a thing, to your everyday life. Sometimes life gets tough. Sometimes life has obstacles. Sometimes life gets to a place to where you feel like you're stuck and you can't do what you need to do to get by. But as long as you keep going and you don't give up, you will be successful. And I know many of my viewers, some of you guys are elderly and of certain ages. Some of you are not able due to disabilities. Some of you may just are having a difficult go at life because things are left and right coming at you. I understand. I get it. I know. I've been there. But at the end of the day, what we need to remember is no matter what we got to do to keep going, we must keep going. Don't stop. No matter how hard it is, we got to keep going and keep moving and keep progressing, because it is only a matter of time before you have your breakthrough. Everybody has a breakthrough. And if you want to have your breakthrough, you got to keep going by any means necessary. Another one of his quote is, let no man pull you low enough to hate him. Are we there? Are we there in Dr. King's dream where we, as Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high? Let no man pull you low enough to hate him, because hate is such an intense, low universal energy that it takes you to go down to a place that is beyond your compassion, your concern, your human, your love, that you go to a level of hate. Let no one take you there. Because it doesn't matter what a person do. If a person spits in your face, if a person hits you, or worse, because people are known to do worse. Let no man take you down to a certain level to where there's so much in you that you don't like about him that you hate him. Because once you get to that level of hate, you are now demonstrating his energy. You are now you're being attracted to what he's giving off. And you're creating more of that energy in the universe, ultimately ruining the planet in so many ways on an energetic, spiritual plane. So it is important that you never let somebody get you down low enough to hate. And believe me, I have been through some things. I've had people do me wrong. I'm sure we all have. You guys know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. But don't let them get you to the level of hate. It's just not beneficial. Another quote, and I think this is either 4 or 5. I think it's 4, maybe 5. We must learn to live together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools. Have we gotten there? Have we gotten to the place where we learn to live together as brothers, as families, as connected, Because if not, we will perish. And we saw all of this take place 2020. 2020 was such a magnificent experiment in where we need to go in the future, right? So you notice I didn't say 2020 was bad, because I believe everything is going to give us a lesson if we pay attention. And if we get the lesson, we can grow and move on from needing to have the lesson. And 2020 was a lesson in all that messing. And so I believe that it was a perfect lesson to get us to learn that we work together better than we do apart. Because when we work together apart, nobody wins. If I'm fighting you holding you back and you fight me holding me back, who's winning? Whereas we should be pulling or pushing each other forward. So we must learn to live together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools. Are we living Dr. King's dream as regards to that? Number 5, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. Are you serving? Are you taking time to give your time? Taking time to give your talents and your energies and do what you need to do to make the world a better place. We all have talents, we all have gifts that are uniquely ours, that only we can express them in the right divine order. And so because of that, are you giving it or are you holding it? And what are you holding it for? Money? You will be taken care of if you live in your gifts. That is a spiritual truth. So are you giving back? And kind of the last quote in line with that, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? When I started Living for You, the intention, the purpose, the calling, the claim of living for you is living for yourself. Because you got to be healthy, you got to be fit, you got to be happy, you got to be whole, you got to have the right mind, you got to be educated and intelligent, and not educated just going to school, but just your level of awareness. Your mind is your strongest power, and so therefore that has to be right. Your body has to be right. Everything about you should love. So living for you, and then of course living for others, because we are in this together. If there are holes in the boats, we all gonna drown. And so we have to figure out how to prevent the holes, or who has time to keep using the bucket to get the water out the boat, and we take turns doing it. We're in this boat together. I heard a good quote today that I'm going to repeat, that there was a time that we all came in different boats. Europeans came in one boat, African were brought here in another boat, other people came in another boat, but now we're in the same boat. I thought that was such a fantastic analogy, because now we're living the same life. We have the same energy. We have the same expectations and needs and wants and desires. Are we working together or are we working apart? So are we living for others? And then the last one is living for God, living for spirit, living for higher power. Are we living in a way? And if you realize, if you're doing all three, if you're doing the other two, you are living for spirit. You are living in a holy place. You are living in a peaceful, love-centric, God, divine, higher consciousness place. Are you there yet? That is the dream that Dr. King had. When he said that I have a dream that my 4 little kids will be judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin, what he was saying is, I want people to see what's in the cup. You guys know I use that cup analogy a lot, that you cannot give anybody anything that is not in that cup. If that cup is half full, you only got half to give. If that cup is empty, you got nothing to give. If that cup is full, it runneth over. You got a lot to give. But at the end of the day, what's in that cup? What are the contents in that cup that you are giving the world? Because that is what needs to be judged. And if it is from a place of integrity, because one thing I love about Dr. King is that he was a man of integrity. An integritous man. He lived his life in integrity. He died for what he believed in. He stood for what he believed in. He fought for what he believed in. He spoke and lived what he believed in. No, he wasn't a perfect man. Who is? But he damn near tried, or he at least gave us a model of what we can aspire to be. That's why we celebrate him on his birthday, his 90th birthday, 9 decades, if he was to be alive today. That's why we remember him. That's why he's monument in DC, because he was a man of integrity. So he wanted his kids to be judged by the content of their character. That we get to a place to where skin color doesn't matter. That we get to a place to where gender doesn't matter. We get to a place to where sexuality doesn't matter, religion doesn't matter, economic abilities and wealth doesn't matter. And we get to a place where the only thing that matters is who you are. That I can look you in the eyes and I can see the spirit in me, in you, and I can treat you as though I'm going to treat myself. That I do unto others as I would like to be done unto me. The golden rule. And that's ultimately the message of Dr. King. It's not a complicated message. It's not a message steeped, even though his words are profound. The message is just simply treat me like a brother that you want me to treat you like a brother, and we can, or sister, and we can love each other and we can exist, because we all have a divine right to peace. We all have a divine right to happiness, and we all have a choice. So are we living Martin Luther King's dream? I believe we have work to do, but I'm hopeful that we will do that work. I'm ready to do the work. 2021 is a new opportunity. Tomorrow is a new opportunity. Each hour is a new opportunity. So take the time that you've been given to do what you need to do and stand up for truth, stand up for justice, and stand up for love and live so that we can create a world that is truly the dream that Dr. King had. I know we can do it. So once again, you can go out to www.liveforyoucoaching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about it. Share the videos. Do all the things that you need to do. Go ahead and follow me on social media at Dr. Larry Smith on Instagram and Facebook. And as I always say, I love you, and I will see you in the next video.